here, the Frugal Crafter, and this is not the painting we're gonna do. We're gonna do something like it, but hopefully better. This is what I call a painting fail. I wasn't really that happy with the way it turned out, but we're gonna try it again, and you can come along this fabulous journey with me. This video is done by request. YouTube viewer Edith wanted to paint a lighthouse, so we're gonna do it for her. Lighthouses are not my favorite topic. I see them a lot because I'm from Maine and everyone paints lighthouses, it seems like. But I can understand the allure if you ain't from around here. I can understand the allure, dear. Nobody probably understood that unless they were from Maine. So we're just going to sketch our little lighthouse here. I put the horizon line a third of the way up on the paper. My lighthouse is up in the air a little bit. You will see I will have a cliff that it will be standing on, so don't worry, there'll be no hovering lighthouses. Hopefully you can see. Maybe I'll draw it a little bit darker. It's a silhouette type picture, so I don't think it'll matter if it's a little bit darker. This is going to be a very quick, rough sketch. I'll put it on a rocky hill. Lighthouse is usually up pretty high. Got to get the light out and all. Oh, you have a little bit of water there, not a ton. All right, and hopefully our lighthouse is straight. I'm sketching this upside down, so so we're going to hope for the best. I'm going to put a couple little windows in our little lighthouse here. All right. You want to wet your paper with clean water. Just to get the whole thing wet. Or you can leave a little bit of a border if you want to. Maybe I'll leave a little bit of a border. I need to reach over and get some cleaner water there. And we're going to use cadmium yellow or new gamboge, whatever you have for a warm yellow. We're going to use alizarin crimson or whatever you have for a pinky red, and ultramarine blue to get things started here. And my yellow's going right down the middle. My pink or alizarin crimson is going kind of next to it there. And we're going to have a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I am going to mix it in with a pink before I bring it in here. Up here to the sky and right down there in the corner. So I'm just reflecting what I've done at the top in the bottom, basically. And then I'm going to do a little blotting. Need a tissue, this will do, I guess. I'm going to blot out the top part of this lighthouse, and I'm also going to blot out a little sunny area over there. Alright, now this needs to dry, so I'm going to go to my heat gun and dry this, and we'll be right back. Alright, paper's dry, and then I'm going to wet the whole rocky area and also the lighthouse, with the exception of the windows and the lighted area. Actually, I don't need to wet the way top part either. That's a small enough area that I can just kind of get in. Just kind of getting everything wet so I won't have any areas drying before the others. I'll switch over to the smaller brush, getting into these smaller spots here. And this is kind of like a big silhouette, so I can kind of just treat it all as one piece. I'm going to go in with my darker color here on the edge, because that's the sun, so away from the sun we're going to have a little more dark. I'm winging away on that side. We can tighten things and clean things up later, so don't worry if it's looking a little too loosey-goosey and sloppy for you. I mean, this is a quick sketch, so don't expect it to, don't expect too much from it. It's just a quick sketch. And I'm not even sure if my lighthouse is straight because I sketched it so quickly. Okay, I like the look of the color running anyway. That's kind of how I like to paint. I'm gonna just kind of dab in some of these colors. Now this dark I made with I used ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. The purple I made ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. We're using 4 colors only on this whole entire picture. Got our little house there. I like silhouettes because I think they're really good for beginners to get to learn design before you get into so much of the color and the lighting work. Getting the design right is a huge obstacle. Now I'm going to use my little credit card scraper tool here just to kind of make some rocky texture and just kind of push around my paint a little bit. I can carve in any craggy lines that I want to. Give it some really great texture. Alright, and I think that I would like to do a little something in the water to help define it. So I'm actually turning it around because I need to get at that, I need to get at the paint at the right angle. I just want to level out my horizon line a little bit. I am going to use a little bit of crimson, even though really probably would be a little bit more yellow. I just feel like I need a little definition there, and sometimes it's kind of not tangible. You just know you need to do something. And as you get experience, you'll know what that something is. I just need to add a little bit of something in the water that's not there. And I want to add a little bit of yellow to the top of the lighthouse where it's got some fresh light coming from the lantern in there. Just want to add a little bit of glow there. And that's a little harsh. I might dab it a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to dry that, and we'll finish it up. Alright, so I've mixed up a little bit more of that ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And I'm just using a tiny brush. This is just a little, like, it's called a spotter. It's like a liner, but it's got really, it's got shorter bristles than a liner. And I'm just adding a little bit more shadow to the edge of the lighthouse. And then I'm rinsing off my brush, gonna go into just some plain water and just paint right next to it to kind of spread the shadow over a little bit so it's a little bit more natural looking. Actually, I think I'm gonna go in with a different brush altogether because that's not holding enough water to spread it really. I'm working on these Strathmore watercolor cards, and paint tends to lift up quite easily from them, so I have to careful not to disturb the underlying paint too much because it will want to lift. That can be a real benefit for a beginner painter to have paper that does that because it's easier to pull out any mistakes. Just going to give it a little bit of detail to that little lighthouse there. I don't want too much. I just want a little bit of there. Alright, now I'm using my credit card scraper. Just, cut up an old gift card or old credit card, and I'm going to throw in some details on those rocks. I need to mix up a little bit more paint for that. Ultramarine blue and my burnt sienna. Actually, I'll put some in here with my brush, and then I can move it around a little bit easier with my scraper. Notice how I have the chisel edge to the edge of the sharp edges of the rocks. I'm using the shape of my brush to help me get the shape of the rocks. And I'm going to do a little ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson to get a little bit of that purple in there. Because I like the color of that purple. I like that for shadows, and I also like it because it's in the sunrise. Sunrise or sunset. Haven't decided yet. It's your picture. You can paint whatever you want. I'm just going to get these lovely textures of rocks in here with the scraper tool. And I love this because it's free and it does a job so well. Alright, now I think I can just put a couple birds, a couple seagulls in there flying maybe. I'll go back to my little spotter brush. And I am going to turn it around because I want to, sometimes I have a hard time seeing how something is going unless I have it turned the right way. Doing my little seagulls here. Doing a little bit smaller back in the distance. And then maybe one really far back. And that just gives us a little bit of definition. Maybe give a little chimney to our house. If you want to put a little railing on the lighthouse, you can. A little bit of a railing there. I wouldn't get too crazy. You could put some bricks on the side. Remember, you're not going to see too much detail because because it's sunset or sunrise, you're getting the silhouette effect. Well, there you go, Edith. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you didn't take offense to my lighthouse rant that I had on my Ask a Crafter video. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and you won't miss another painting tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.